All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, all glory, all honors unto Yahweh by Hashem, Yahawashi by Hashem Dash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings to the 144,000, the hopeful elect. It's Brother Tazawan from GMS Atlanta back again with another lesson. And in the previous video that I did, the previous lesson, I spoke on the recent situation going on in Israel, dealing with what happened in Chicago with the Watchmen for Israel camp and the call out to all the camps by this guy Chief Ephraim, and the pull-up boys to pull up, and I pretty much rebuked them for the foolishness and the agent-like activity. I gave examples of how being in that type of spirit is detrimental to the ministry. Okay? And I had mentioned about Yahawashi, and pretty much my whole premise was what would Yahawashi do in that situation, and what would Yahawashi do as referred to the scriptures, okay? Because what Israelites don't do, the majority of Israelites don't do in these camps, and even outside the camps, you just see Israel around, and the scriptures, the seriousness of the scriptures does not come into play in thinking about making certain moves. Okay? Now, I mentioned about if Yahawashi was in that situation where he was involved and people wanted to fight him or do him harm or put hands on him, what would Yahawashi do? Okay? Would Yahawashi get all the disciples together and say, let's go back to this city and let's show them how strong and how much of a coward we, how we're not cowards, Did Yahawashi take that stance? Did Yahawashi call together the scribes and Pharisees and the Sadducees and the priests of the temple to get together with his disciples and make them honorary disciples and get together and show the Romans or show whoever who's boss? Is that the mentality of a man of the Lord? Is that what Yahawashi would do? Well, I tell you that in the scriptures, Yahawashi was in a situation like that. Now, all right, now I couldn't find it while I was doing the previous video, but I went back and looked it up and tried to see if I could get it, and I found it. So I'm just going to bring out this account. And at the end of the day, we all profess to know the truth of the scriptures. We're all Hebrew Israelites, out of all the camps, GMS, IUIC, ISUPK. We're all Israel, okay? And we all subscribe to the doctrine that came out of One West, pretty much for the most part, right? So the common thing that we all have in common is the scriptures and Yahweh and Yahawashi. So now let's go to the Bible. All right? I got the Bible open in front of me. I got KJV, different translations. Okay? Let's go into the accounts with Yahawashi's own words, with his own history and his story. And since we're all followers of Yahweh Bashem Yahawashi, we should be able to look to the scriptures as our guiding light, right? The precepts is our guiding light in what's right and wrong. And how we do things. So in this particular situation with these guys, HOY, these other camps, and Wi-Fi, these other camps, trying to go back to Chicago and do a big unity camp and get on the loudspeakers and blast protesters and Palestinians, and they mentioned even the Israelis. Like, that's just a foolish thing to do. And it shows agent provocateur-like activity. It's definitely provoking some kind of violence to spark up, because what debate or doctrine is going to take place in that situation? And then even so, now you got to think about the cops being involved out there and what they're looking for. So you got the cops, you got these protesters, you got to think about the news, you got to think about the media, you got to think about vocab alone, and all these people, wanting to blame the ministry and to actually not take it as a spiritual movement, but it just looks carnal. So I'm going to go to this account, and this is Luke the 4th chapter, all right? And let's see when Yahawashi was in a situation of people wanted to harm him or do something to him, what attitude did Yahawashi take? And this goes out to Naquan and the W.W.Y.D and the HOI with the priest Zabak and Chief Ephraim and any other camp, Sakari. Okay, I'm just going to the scriptures. All right, I'm going to the scriptures, and I'm showing the scriptures, which that's what GMS does. We go to the scriptures to prove our point. So this is Luke chapter 4. And let's see, Luke chapter 4. And 14. Okay? As a matter of fact, let me do this. Let me do this here. Let me just turn this off. KJV. Luke 4 and 14. Yahawashi's public ministry. It says, and Yahawashi returned in the power of the Spirit into Galilee. And there went out a fame of him throughout all the region round about. And he taught in their synagogues, being glorified of all. Okay. Verse 16. And he came to Nazareth, where he had been brought up. And as his custom was, he went into the synagogue on the Sabbath day and stood up for to read. And there was delivered unto him the book of the prophet Isaiah. And when he had opened the book, he found the place where it was written, the Spirit of the Lord is upon me, because he hath anointed me to preach the gospel to the poor. He hath sent me to heal the brokenhearted, to preach deliverance to the captives, and recovering of sight to the blind, to set at liberty them that are bruised, to preach the acceptable year of the Lord. And he closed the book, and he gave it again to the minister, and sat it down. And the eyes of all them that were in the synagogue were fastened on him. So Yahawashi started preaching, started his ministry. He got fame. He was out in the streets in different cities. He went to Nazareth and taught. He was doing the same thing that we follow to do today. Okay? Verse 21. And he began to say unto them, this day is this scripture fulfilled in your ears. And all bear him witness and wonder at the gracious words which proceeded out of his mouth. And they said, is not this Joseph's son? And he said unto them, ye will surely say unto me this proverb, physician, Heal thyself. Whatsoever we have heard done in Capernaum, do also here in thy country. And he said, verily I say unto you, no prophet is accepted in his own country. So basically, Yahawashi said that, eventually people are going to start wanting to see him do miracles. Okay? They're going to want to see the power of the Lord upon them and all of that. Okay? But because they knew Yahawashi, right, they didn't really accept him in Nazareth. But the same thing can qualify today is when we out there on the streets, these people see us, we look funny. As the scriptures say, we're spectacles on the men. We're just a bunch of niggas screaming, right? Like this guy, hell, I forgot his name. The damn scoffer, the old big bearded scoffer, Jake from New York. I know his name, but it escapes me right now. But they look at us like, a bunch of crazy niggas. Okay? But now this is the point. Okay? Because see, Yahawashi was teaching, going to the scriptures, but he's going to start cutting these people and start going in on them. All right? So this is verse 25. But I tell you of a truth. Many widows were in Israel in the day of Elijah, when the heaven was shut up 3 years and 6 months, when great famine was throughout all the land. But unto none of them was Elijah sent, save unto Sarepta, a city of Zidon, unto a woman that was a widow. And many lepers were in Israel in the time of Eliseus the prophet, and none of them was cleansed, saving Naaman the Syrian. And all they in the synagogue, when they heard these things, were filled with wrath. And the reason why they were angry was because, basically Yahawashi said, I ain't doing no miracles amongst y'all. Because y'all won't accept me as being the Messiah. So they was like, oh, you're not going to do no miracles? Are you going to do no miracles? Okay. It says, and they rose up and thrust him out of the city, and led him unto the brow of the hill whereon their city was built, that they might cast him down headlong. So they got so mad at Yahawashi that they wanted to kill him. All right? And it says they thrust him out of the city. So that means they had to grab Yahawashi up, put hands on him, carry him out, okay? Carried him to the hill of the city, the cliff. And they wanted to throw Yahawashi off the cliff. But let's see what Yahawashi did. And Yahawashi gathered together men, disciples, right? Or did he go back to the disciples of John the Baptist and say, hey man, they tried to throw me off a cliff. Let's go back to Nazareth and let's go and let's blast these fools. Is that what Yahawashi did? It says, verse 30, but he passing through the midst of them went his way. So he got out of Dodge. Is that Yahawashi being a coward? Is Yahawashi a coward for this? Because according to your other case, Yahawashi would have been a coward. He would have been a weakling. But when GMS says Wi-Fi was going off for being out there at their protest in the first place, even going back to IUIC and ISUBK in that brawl, fighting over a camp spot, right? It just gets to a point to where you really got to think whether you other Israelites really know the scriptures, It Because see, Yahawashi, he got out of Dodge. He wasn't a coward. But you other groups, y'all also ready to dead and spill blood, driving by the school, being weird. So it says, Yahawashi, he passing through the midst of them went his way and came down to Capernaum, a city of Galilee, and taught them on the Sabbath days. And they were astonished at his doctrine, for his word was with power. So what did Yahawashi do? Oh, the people of Nazareth wanted to kill him. Beat him up, kill him. Throw him off a cliff. What did Yahawashi do? Yahawashi got out of Dodge, left, and he went to another city. That's what we're supposed to be doing. That's what we're supposed to follow. That's how we're supposed to be. Okay? Now, situations happen. There's situations, all right? I've been in situations at camp where brothers had to get down. But what did we do? We left those camp spots. And guess what happened after we left those camp spots where brothers had to get down? All right? In our camp here in GMS, in Atlanta. The other Israelite groups came right behind us, and they taught in our camp spots. All of them. HOI, Sakari, who else? Sons of Thunder. All these groups taught in GMS camp spots. Okay? To this day. Okay? IUIC would be close. As soon as we left, they came to our spot. I should be K right there. All bunched up together on one street corner. Because you other groups, y'all think it's about being seen and power. Nah, man. But my point is, Yahawashi left. He wasn't feeling Nazareth no more. They tried to throw him off a cliff. So he went to another city and taught them. And the same thing that, and I had mentioned this in the last scripture, in the last lesson, I mean. Okay? Yahawashi taught his disciples do the same thing. Matthew 10 and 23. But when they persecute you in this city, flee ye to another. For verily I say unto you, you shall not have gone over the cities of Israel till the Son of Man be come. So Yahawashi had the experience. He knew what it was like to be hated in the city. So when they wanted to kill him and do him in, he got out of Dodge, he left, went to another city and taught. So when he gathered his disciples, set the 12 up, Matthew the 10th chapter, right? He gave them the rundown of what the truth was about and what it was going to be like being a follower of him, Yahawashi. He said, listen, when they persecute you in the city, okay, I want you to flee into another city. These are Yahawashi's words written in red. I didn't make this up, But the Spirit has compelled me to bring this out as a learning lesson for the hopeful elect out there, but also as a warning and admonition, but a lesson too, to these other camps, man. Whoever may watch this video, okay. So if we're really followers of Yahawashi, okay, Yahweh Bashem Yahawashi, then we should do what Yahawashi did. Okay? And we just go to another part of the city, go to another city, whatever, But, I hope this was edifying. I just want to bring this out. What would Yahawashi do? And how he reacted to a situation like getting into a brawl at camp or fighting at camp. He didn't gather the disciples and the disciples of John the Baptist and the Pharisees and Sadducees and get other people involved because of what happened to him. He said, nah, flee, go to another city and teach. You know? Amen. Amen. And we got to take the low. But at the end, did not Yahawashi win? So if we take up the same attitude, we're going to win too. You know? And we got the truth. It's okay. You know, you don't have to be tough and be a big, bad, a rude boy or a bad man, You ain't got to be no tough guy. Okay? Follow Yahawashi. And so with that, all praises go to Yahawashi, by Shabbat double honors to the apostles and honors a great millstone that rule and teach well. Shalom to the 144,000 and the whole for elect. The holders of edifying.